from the islands, everyone. So, here it goes. How do we use Corona to live the lives we want to live? One, we align with love, which means we live the way we want to live, do what we want to do, but we don't harm, we don't abuse others or ourselves. Two, we eliminate fear. And three, we begin the creation of what we truly want. This video is about step 2, eliminating fear. This is a long video, 49 minutes, something like that. Do not watch this video if you are not interested in eliminating your fear. Do not watch this video unless you are focused on yourself. Do not watch this video if you don't have time to do it. And do not watch this video if eliminating fear is not the most important thing in your life at the time you are watching it. 3 parts to this video. The first part we look at, actually you look at, because it's about you determining what fear is and the parameters of fear and the definition of fear. The second short part is a time where we breathe together and move together to realign ourselves and get ready to go inside. The third part is a meditative, guided experience into our own minds together, looking at a process of eliminating fear. Thank you for being here at all. Thank you for taking the time to evolve through your own wonderful, powerful, creative mind. Mahalo. Okay, let's start. Thoughts, words, and acts would support a person in living the way that person desires to live, without harming others, without harming the self, without abusing others, without abusing the self. Supporting that person, the object of that thought, in becoming self-sufficient, self-reliant, self-creative, not constricting, confining, pressing down upon a person so that they are dependent on whatever outside of themselves. Now you can call that whatever you like. A unifying thought of some type. Give it any name you want. I am giving that the name love. I'm defining love that way. So whatever you call that thought, once we connect to that, then we can eliminate fear. That sequence is critically important. We can't start just eliminating fear. Oh no, that'll never work. Why? Because many things drive us. And fear, one of its purposes, healthy purposes, is to assist in guiding us in a direction. So if we don't have a direction, we eliminate fear. Well, whatever is pushing us can push us into some unknown place. And oftentimes that unknown place, we invoke violence and force. So aligning with love, aligning is to get lined up
so that we're moving in the direction of our unifying thought. Once we have a sight set for what direction, then we can eliminate that fear in a way that works for all of us. If you think about rage, that's not exactly an expression of fear. There's some type of force moving through the fear that leads to violence, leads to murder, leads to war, leads to suicide. That's an example of why it is so critical that in this process of transforming ourselves and changing this planet, that we take a stepwise approach. First, a unifying thought. And I'd be very interested to hear about some of the words that you could come up with to attribute to some type of definition of what I'm calling love. If you take that unifying thought, what would you call it? I'm just calling it love. But I'm certain all of you creatives out there could come up with something very interesting. So, this brings us to fear. Once unified in alignment, now, let us eliminate fear. In order for us to communicate, we have to understand what the words mean that we are using. If we do not, we're not going to be able to communicate. For example, if I say I want some food, one person might think that I want potato chips and another one might think that I want some spinach. That's why we have to understand what we're talking about. We have to be very clear. Fear is as unique to each and every human being as there are human beings. Fear is the creation of likely every synaptic event that has ever occurred. Sort of like a collage. Everything that's ever happened to us in our lives, and maybe even our past lives, if some of you consider that. So this fear thing is a result of all of these occurrences, everything we've ever watched, heard, felt, tasted, touched, thought of, imagined. But it's special because each one of you is special. No one's like you. You're just totally miraculous in your uniqueness. And so is your fear. So we can think about this fear. We think about it as two circles that link, two rings. We could say one, perhaps. Now, of course, you know all this already. I'm just reflecting it to you. There's nothing I'm going to say that you do not know. And that's why you don't need to fact check anything here. You don't need to check to see if there's false news here, because it's all inside of you. This is a co-experience. Reflection. So, if you think of anything you're afraid of, right? So all of you, just think of one thing, whatever, and you're going to have a feeling. Well, what you just created was a link. It seems that you've created a link with this something you saw in your mind's eye, in this particular case, and something you felt. Well, you linked an image with a feeling. I think that's what everyone just did. Now, so whatever the link is, it doesn't make any difference what that image is. It doesn't make any difference. What was the feeling that was linked to it? Huh? How did that feel? Well, let's put it like this. Because there's so many human beings here on the earth, I don't know, 8 billion or so, more. Each human being has that human being's own feeling in regards to any particular image. So that link, and in this case, more than likely, because I said the word fear, we could say that probably the feeling was not pleasant. Or we could say it was uncomfortable. We could say it was some type of pain, in a sense. Some type of negative feelings, some might say. And only you know if this is occurring. So this fear, this image, linked to a feeling. And when we think about feelings, well, basically 2 categories of feelings. Probably you feel good about something or you don't feel that good about it. Let's just be very simplistic about this. So we're going to attach to any particular image either some kind of good, positive, pleasurable, wonderful, joyous experience, or an unpleasant, uncomfortable, a pain type feeling. So we could just have these 2 very broad categories. And what we have done then with this fear thing, what you're doing right now, and I'm doing right now, I'm linking an image. Could even be a sound, a loud noise. Could be thinking about going to the dentist or the doctor to give you a vaccination. You're going to hear about that. But and then the feeling, right? You might be thinking about a bank account problem. Your computer doesn't work. All of these things, you see, links with images and feelings. And throughout all of our lives, we have created these links. When I say the word fear, that is what I'm talking about. So, in working with billions of people, which let's say we're doing that right now, all of us, okay? Because we're all together, we're connected some kind of way. Whether you're listening to this right now immediately or you're listening to it in the future, we're still connected at that point. So, to address this is a rather large task, to say the least. And in so doing, we must be very precise and very simplistic in our approach. What is the glue to the link? For the techies, how do we hyperlink these images to these feelings? So, perhaps one word. You ask yourselves if this makes sense for you, because these are your fears we're talking about. Your individual fears. If we could find one system of linkage, well, let's put it to the test. So if you ask yourself, you just take a breath and relax right now. And let's say there's a thought that I reflect to you. That you are significant. That you're powerful. That you have access to all information that is significant to your life. And that all that's necessary for a moment is that you stop and that you ask yourself, in the most profound thought about yourself, a question: what is it? What is the underlying thought in all fear? The underlying thought that links that image to that uncomfortable feeling. One word. Whatever language, whatever dialect, a word that might be connected to the process of linking that image and that thought, that feeling, the image to that feeling. We just simply wait for that answer to come to us. Just listen. And of course, we'll hear different things, hear different words. And more than likely, irrespective of the words we hear, the meaning of the words we hear, I will ask you a question. Do the words that you hear, or the word that you hear, have anything to do with the word enough? Not enough. And what does not enough? What can not enough relate to? Well, let's just look at things in our life, categories of things in our life that not enough can relate to. Let's see if we all have such categories. Let's start with most basic needs. Food, not enough food. Air, not enough air. Or not enough clean air. Water, not enough water. Newborn babies, our research shows you can take babies and not touch them. And you take babies and then you touch them gently, carefully. Those that are touched become healthier. They thrive to live. Touch, not enough. Attention, not enough attention. Knowledge, not enough knowledge. Money, not enough money. Attraction, not attractive enough. Joy, happiness, energy, trust, respect, knowledge, experience, wisdom, understanding, sex, spirituality, creativity, goodness, things, cars, boats, houses, jewelry, clothes, shoes, bags, purses, towels, shirts, land, power, dominance, control, courage, time to live. So ask yourselves, did whatever you were thinking about when I said the word fear, or any other fear that you have. Does the word enough in some way relate to linking that image to the uncomfortable feeling associated with it? Does not having enough of something relate to that linkage? Does it explain in some way how whatever image you have or can conjure relates to a negative, uncomfortable, disruptive, painful feeling? You answer for yourself. You have all the answers. I already know that. Because I believe in you. And why do I believe in you? Because I've never sat with a person that was open to seeing their own ability to create their own answers. I've never seen it fail in the 40 years that I've been working and looking at human potential. I've never seen it fail. So I believe in you from experience, an experiential base. And that's why I'm not afraid to do this with you. I am not afraid to tell you that you have this ability. I'm not afraid to listen to you answer your own questions. And now what? This is what? Why? Because we have to wake up. Right now, wake up for a minute. All of you. Breathe in. Breathe out. You've done the most amazing thing. Breathe. Feel your body. Just put a little tension in your arm. Yeah. Feel good. Let the blood circulate. Tighten up your legs a little bit as you breathe. Yes, in and out. Why? Because you've done an amazing thing. You have explained to yourself the basis of every fear that you have. And now, you are going to explain to yourself how to eliminate that. So we're going somewhere else. See you in a minute. Exhausting, totally, completely. Exhausting, all right? Okay, good. Now we're waking up. Thank you again for even being here. And I know you're probably sick of and tired of my saying that, but it has to do with my appreciation for each and every one of you. Okay, let's just continue a little bit of pressure, tension.
Yes, and those muscles, tense your legs a little bit. Breathe. Beautiful. Now we can relax. Blood is moving. Even if you didn't move, if you watched me move, that probably made your blood move a little bit. Now, let's go someplace together. How about a gathering? For this gathering, everyone's invited except for those that don't want to eliminate their own fear. If that's not the most important thing in your life right now, in this moment, then you don't need to watch this video. You need to just go ahead and do whatever else it is that's important to you. I'm here for you. That's what this is all about. What you desire in your life, that's what love does. Not what I desire, what you desire. As long as that does not harm or abuse another, and it does not harm or abuse you. That's what we're doing. So now, let's go together. Sit back, get comfortable, relax, close your outer eyes and open your inner eye. Looking inside of yourselves, feeling the muscles around the forehead, ears, the cheeks, the neck and the shoulders, relaxing, the chest, the back, the front of the belly, into the hips, the thighs, the knees, the lower legs, the ankles, the feet, the soles of the feet, tips of the toes, down from the arms, the shoulders, the upper arm, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, hands and fingers, all relaxing, softening, opening, releasing. So here we are. We're walking together into this amazingly perfect room. All of us. But still, here I am with me walking. Now, I see there are instructions here. Okay. As you walk into this room, we welcome you, and we ask that you only do one thing. Take a look around how magnificent this place is, just as you expected. And with that one addition, right there, that amazing shelf. We ask, as you enter here, we would like you to place some things on that shelf. Let's start off with placing what you think you believe. Your beliefs on that shelf. Your beliefs about yourself. Or about anything else. Now, this shelf is not just a usual shelf. I mean, this is a very, very secure shelf. And whatever that you place on this shelf is totally safe. You can just go back and pick it up anytime you want.
It's for safekeeping. And so we ask that you place your beliefs on this shelf. And then we ask that you place something else on that shelf. Your judgments on that shelf. And there's plenty of room here. So you can put everything on that shelf. And you'll still have room. Now, you can place your weapons there, your guns. Go ahead, take them off. You can go back and get them anytime you want. You can place your bombs. You can place your swastikas up there even. Go ahead. It's all right. And you're welcome here, by the way. Everyone's welcome here that wants to eliminate fear. Everybody. Swastikas. The terrorists. ISIS. Everybody. Murderers, killers, you're all welcome here. And we're going to place whatever we carry with us on this shelf as we enter. And now as we walk, we look around and we ask ourselves, why are we here? Why am I doing this? Why didn't I turn that video off? Because the only people here are those that have made eliminating their own fear the most important things in their lives. And so now, we're going to place our fears on that shelf. Plenty of space. All the fears in a big package, and just place them on that shelf. They'll be there. They're not going anywhere. If you want them, they'll be right there. Anytime you want to go back and get them. But for now, we ask that you just place all fear on this shelf. All thought that there's not enough of anything. All thought that there was not enough of anything that you thought you needed in the past. All thought that there's not enough of something that you think you need or will need in the future. All of that goes right on this amazing shelf. And now, when you have placed all of these things on this very wonderful shelf of security and safety, now, what do you feel? Does your body feel different? your sensations. From this place, we ask ourselves, where did fear come from in the first place? Was I born with it? I don't remember that. Did I do a very good job of acquiring these things called fears? Did that take power for me to do that? To link all of these images together with negative sensations? From this place that I am, where my fears are on the shelf, when I am somewhere else, right now in this moment. What is the most important thing in my life? What can I create that I truly want? Do I think I can figure out a way to do that? With my beliefs and my fears and my judgments on that shelf over there? What can I connect to any image that I perceive? Do I have the power to link together positive feelings with any image? Do I have the power to create links with powerful thoughts, positive thoughts, creative thoughts to any image that I see, perceive in any way, hear, sense, or touch? Is there a way that I can use my creative mind to turn something that looks all messed up, all imbalanced, and turn it into something beautiful? If I've been powerful enough to create links with negative feelings and sensations and pain, do I have the ability to link positive thoughts, joy, freedom, pleasure to any image that I perceive in alignment with love? And what about that fear, that big fear of death? Can I figure out a way that if I know I'm going to die, does it make more sense to create what I really want in my life, or to be afraid to create it and not create it? And what does Corona do with that? Well, if Corona is pushing us into thinking, well, I may die, can I use that very fear of Corona to project myself into creating what I really want? And if I'm going to die, would I rather die for nothing or die with whatever fear is, or die with some purpose. Something that I want to experience in my life. What makes more sense to me? Am I more powerful with this feeling I have now, or with that feeling of fear that I've been carrying around with me? Am I more creative with the feeling I have now, or with that feeling of fear that I've been carrying around with me? What can possibly stop me from doing what I want to do now that I no longer carry that feeling of fear? It's over there on the shelf. What can stop me now that my fear is not here anymore? Do you like this feeling? You feel your own creative powers? Do you feel your own creative thoughts? Do you think there is a way that you can take those thoughts and feelings and link them together and create through acts that support you living the way you want to live without harming others, yourself, without abusing others or yourself? Do you think you are more powerful, more creative, and that you hold more potential with or without your fear? Only you can answer this question. And only you can walk over to that shelf and pick your fear up again. You are the creator of yourself, and you always have been, and you always will be. I have asked you to come here because I am selfish. There are things that I want for me. What I want for me is for you to live the life that you desire to live without harm or abuse to others or yourself. In that way, I love you. And that is selfish, because in order to feel love, you must give love. What you do after this experience is totally up to you. You can walk out into life a completely different human being. You can start creating something you have never created before. Or you can go back over and pick up your fear and walk out with it again. That is your decision. And being fearless right now in this moment, you might ask yourself, well, what was the purpose of all that fear in the first place? And I would respond to you again with a question. Had you not experienced whatever you experienced that left you in fear, had you not experienced the sensations, the pain, the discomfort of all of that fear, How would you ever be able to experience the joy, the freedom, the happiness, the bliss, the understanding, and the wisdom that comes from the experience of living as a fearless human being? You are dearly loved, and you're never alone. When you're ready, please open your eyes. When you're ready to re-enter this world, and understand that you've done something quite phenomenal. Everything that has occurred here has been the creation of your mind. You've been able to create a room and a shelf and place your fear on that shelf. And by so doing, you have become a different person. You can enter this room anytime you want, because it is yours. And as you do this day after day after day, when you're ready to change your life, it will come to a point where you walk out of this room and there is no fear in your pocket. There's no fear that you're carrying around. And all of life will be different. Through this meditation, you've entered a brainwave state called theta. It's a state where we connect with the subconscious and we change our human programs. It is the state of super learning. And as you look at the screen, the moon you are seeing is called the super moon. And you are much like that light. You're dearly loved.